Well, we got a good group of kids coming back that we're excited about, coming off a terrific season last year, winning the state title. And so as every year, our goals are to be the champion of the league, the MAPL League, the NJ Preps. Obviously, you can't always get there, but that's certainly our expectation. We know we have a long way to go, but we're excited because we have so many of those kids returning. Doesn't guarantee anything. As I told the boys when we started up in early March, we said, we're starting from scratch. What we did last year means nothing. It's great memories, great for the program, but to do it all again, we've got to make sure that we go back and do all the fundamentals, the basics, put our systems in, and not count on anything, and never assume anything just because we have some good players on the team. We are fortunate to have some good baseball players. But I think we got better people, and I think that's what makes the big difference, that I've got character kids, and therefore I think our expectations should be high. When you have a successful team, we were fortunate to have that. You're going to have a lot of guys contribute. You just can't do it unless guys up and down the lineup contribute in some way. And when we went to Florida this year, I thought that we'd have everything set, and then watching things develop down there, I said, oh no, this guy might be better over here than he is there. And some kids stepped up and showed me some things that will help us in other areas that I didn't think they might. So that's a great thing about working with teenagers. They're always going to surprise you, and a lot of times they're good surprises. Well, number one, I want them to be good character people. I want them to be good young men to go on and have successful lives. Obviously, our goal is to always win. I think that's important, that you always have that goal, that you want to be as good as you possibly can be and be better than that. And that comes from commitment to hard work. Consistent commitment to hard work. I always tell our guys I'd much rather have a great character kid than an unbelievable talent, because that kid's always going to help you win. And those are the kind of kids that make a difference. And if these kids can go on and be great people, that's a success.
And here we are live from Wakefield Diamond on the campus of Blair Academy to watch a Maple League matchup between the Blair Buccaneers and their rival Peddie School Falcons. Alongside Derek Raymond and Sean Lerman, I'm Tom Monfiletto, excited to bring you our first Blair baseball game of the Strive spring season here. Blair comes into the game 11-3 on the year. They are one of the most talented teams in the state. They've been that year after year, back-to-back state champions. They look to continue their regular season success as they're still in the hunt for the Maple Championship. And Sean, you've gotten to see their warm-ups. You haven't seen them play live yet. What are some of your first impressions here? What's your excitement level as this game is about to get underway?
I have to say, I'm very excited, particularly just watching this team warm up, the sharpness of their warm-ups. You can tell if a team's ready to play when they're out there just warming up, getting set before a game. You can tell these guys are taking it seriously. Now they're out there, they're going to have fun too, but you can tell they're spending a lot of effort making sure that their warm-up throws are good. And, it's the old adage, you practice how you play, and they're practicing pretty hard right now.
And one of the catalysts for this Blair offense that has been hitting the cover off the baseball, who has been here throughout his high school career, is headed to Vanderbilt University next year. Our spotlight today is on the shortstop, Liam Sabino. Look at those numbers. Those are not fake. 400 average. He's got 4 bombs on the year, 14 runs batted in. He's hitting in the 3-hole. He is the team's best player, and this is a team that is loaded with talent. It's 10 stolen bases on the year, 9 extra base hits. As we said, he's committed to Vanderbilt University. Could have some interest from Major League ball clubs in June for the first-year player draft, so we'll see how that goes. But I have been able to coach against him throughout his career here at Blair, and it's been a pleasure to see him play on the field. He has it all. All right, you want to talk about 5 tools? He can hit for average, he can hit for power, he's got a great glove, he's got an arm, and he's got speed. And he is a great all-around kid, too, becoming a leader on this Blair team.
Yeah, he's an absolute stud, and one of the things I think that I was impressed by is that we saw him out here way before just about anybody else, just taking some ground balls, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours before game time, and those are the kind of things you need to do when you're going to be the best player on your team.
And that is one of the things that Coach Stone stresses, is that it's one thing to have incredible talent, as Liam does, but his work ethic is outstanding as well. We saw him in the fall when we would come and cover games. He'd be out on the turf throwing with Eddie Blair, the third baseman. His work ethic is incredible. He's made a dedication to the weight room. He's gotten his body stronger, more fit, where he can hit the ball harder, more consistently. And this is just a workaholic that had a concrete goal and is striving towards that goal. So we will see how the Buccaneers fare today as they take on a Peddie Falcon team, a scrappy team that beat them the last time that they faced each other by a score of 9-5. Blair had made 6 errors in that game, I believe, so didn't help themselves defensively. And the games that Blair has lost, it has been the defense that has sort of let them down, but they are in a bit of a groove so far here in this season. So we talked about Liam Sabino. We're going to go over the lineup, but this is a team, Sean, that all around the field, they have pitchers at every position. Defensively, they have the capability of making great plays, and it starts in the outfield with the Lubreski brothers, both playing center field and right field for this squad.
Yeah, the Lubreski brothers, I mean, when you have 2 outfielders out there, center and left, that, it's important to have chemistry between your outfielders, and there's no better chemistry than a guy that you grew up with playing ball with. You don't have to worry about seeing these guys run into each other as they're both going for the same fly ball. You're going to have good communication. You're going to have guys who know where each other are all the time, and if you look at those numbers there, I mean, they can hit pretty well, too.
They can hit pretty well, too. They cover a ton of ground. And as you said, that communication is really something that goes underrated, but it's essential to an outfield. Sean is the center fielder when he's not on the mound. He's the team's #1 pitcher. Brett has established himself as the team's #3 starter on the year, so they both can give you innings off the mound. Sean, as you see, batting .350, 21 stolen bases. His brother Brett bats from the left side, batting .525. Wow. Both from North Plainfield and coming over to Blair. I think Sean came over his sophomore year, and I believe Brett has been here since his freshman year. But as tournament time comes, you will hear those names very prevalently as the games go on, as the season goes on. They are 2 of the most outstanding players on this Blair team, 2 of the more outstanding players in the league, and it's going to be a treat to watch them play here today. So we'll go over the starting lineups for both squads. Around the diamond for Blair, Kyle Jaksic will start behind the plate. Eddie Blair at third base. Liam Sabino at short. Chris Mezzanotte, the senior left-handed hitter, also some serious pop from his bat, will bat second. Neil Ring, the transfer from Oxford, Connecticut, is the first baseman today. Brett will be in left, Brett Lubreski, that is. Sean Lubreski will be in center. And in right field, Jordan Barbarata, who you see there, number 17. A really cool story, was brought in to play quarterback for the football team, Sean. Had a knee injury, actually had surgery on that knee, and has just gotten back into the groove. He is a 2-sport athlete. Baseball is probably the sport that he will play in college, and has really starting to catch on here. His average on the year is not going to stand out. It's not going to stand out off the page, but Coach Stone, before the game, we were able to talk to him, said that he is just really kind of catching on here as he's been hitting the ball hard. Him and Neil Ring been hitting the ball really hard, but sometimes it's right at people, and there's really not much you can do about that. But that's a cool story to see Jordan Barbarata make his way into the starting lineup. This is a stacked team with a ton of talent, a ton of guys that can contribute, and for Jordan Barbarata to come in and rehab his injury and be able to come back off an injury is something cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see a kid working hard. It's really easy when you get an injury, especially at the high school level, to just say, well, that's it for me. I had a nice run, but he was a guy that said, I'm not going to just give up. I'm going to get in the gym. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to get back out on that field, and that's exactly what he's done. I think one of the things that's kind of interesting to me, at least, Tom, is how unique it is that football and baseball, there seems to be so much crossover between those sports, more so than any other 2 sports that I've seen.
Yeah, and we were talking about that beforehand, the importance of playing 2 sports. A lot of the players on this Blair team are 2-sport athletes. The Lubreskis were standouts on the basketball team. Jordan Barbarata, obviously a football player. The second baseman, Chris Mezzanotte, is a standout on the soccer field. Kyle Jaksic was the quarterback of the football team. He came in, he was a tight end to start the season off and a defensive end. They needed somebody to play quarterback as Jordan went down, and Kyle took the reins in the third game. After the third game of the season, didn't lose a game since. So he was a fantastic player for them, leading them to a MAPL championship, and now he's doing his thing on the bench for the Buccaneers. So we will take an eye on Christian Sook, the starting pitcher for the Blair Buccaneers. Sook is 3-0 on the year. He's got 20 innings pitched, only giving up 7 earned runs in those innings. He has 26 strikeouts. I guess you can call him the number 2 pitcher, Sean, but it's more like 1A and 1B between him and Sean Lebreski.
Yeah, when you look at numbers like that, I mean, that's a number 1 for pretty much any team you're going to see. It just, happens to be that Lebreski's on the team too.
Always around the plate. Sook has outstanding control. His location is fantastic. Can locate 3 pitches, and really just a reliable guy that you can throw out on the mound. He has pitched in back-to-back state championship games. As a freshman, he won it for Blair. Last year, he won it for Blair against a stacked Hun team. And in the final game where Blair had to win 2 to win the state championship, they called on Christian Sook once again, who came out and did his job and got the game won for this Blair Academy team that took home a 2nd straight state championship.
That's incredible. I mean, just the fact that he could come in as a freshman and start a state championship game. I mean, there are guys who walk out on the field nervous as seniors in state championship games. There are guys who don't get to pitch a state championship game their whole career. So to go out there as a freshman and win a game, I mean, that's absolutely incredible.
So the throw down from Kyle Jaksic will signify the start to today's action, as we will get started here. Leading off for the Peddie School, Wilson Baraka, the junior, is DHing for McConville at first base. So we'll see what Baraka has in store, what kind of speed he has on the right side. And we will get underway. The first pitch to Baraka, outside for a ball, I believe. Windy day here at Wakefield Diamond, and this one is in for a strike, so the count goes to 1-1. And this one is high, but it is popped foul. It looks like it will stay in, and Kyle Jaksic with an outstanding catch to make the first out of the inning. A great effort. It always comes back, especially in this wind, Sean. And you know, after playing catcher in college, how difficult of a play that is.
And that's something we were talking a little bit about pregame, Tom, is the extra room that you have with that deep backstop. Gives you the room to, when that ball goes straight up there, you can kind of get your way back to the fence, work your way forward again, and be able to make the play with a little more comfort.
And we're going to take another look as the first pitch to Johnny Hu is low for a ball. And you see Jaksic making the catch just out of the view of our third base camera here. Hu, the shortstop for Peddie from Montgomery, has really come on strong for this Falcon team and has owned that position, played third base for them last year. So he takes a strike. Count goes to 1-1. And this one low for a ball. Hu with an outstanding glove, a great arm too. Had some serious success in the Montgomery Babe Ruth leagues, as this one is low for a ball, so he gets ahead of Sook. Count now 3-1. Kyle Jaksic, the catcher, we saw him make that first play, headed to Lynchburg University. I always got Lynchburg and Longwood messed up. Ground ball to Mezzanotte. Take a couple steps and throw over to first for the second out of the inning. So 2 up, 2 down here for Sook in the first.
A nice way to start the game. You're starting out with a couple easy outs, a pop fly, a ground ball. You're not letting anything get to the outfield. I think that's always something I look for. When you see outs not getting to the outfield, you're not seeing any loud outs. That's always a good sign for your pitcher early in the game.
Michael Ferraro steps to the plate for Peddie. Ferraro had an outstanding season on the football field for the Falcons. He was like Ed Reed this year. The ball found him in almost every single game. I think he had about 6 turnovers, either recovered fumbles or interceptions on the year, playing safety. Like an outside linebacker safety hybrid. He was fantastic. He's going to line this one foul down the right side. The count will go to 1-1 now. Of course, we covered the Blair versus Peddie MAPL Championship football game that Blair won at Peddie. It was a tremendous game. riding the legs of Taz Bateman and Quashay Hendricks, as this one is grounded to Sabino at short. Quick throw over to first, and he's got him for an out. Good stretch by Ring. So the side is retired in the first. Nobody on, or nobody reached base, and a good quick inning from Christian Sook as Blair comes to the plate in the bottom of the first inning. So this is a team, this is a strong tradition here between Blair and Peddie, Sean. They've had some serious battles in the past, and the way that the Prep A tournament is made up, you can play teams numerous times in the tournament, and you can play teams numerous times during the actual tournament because it's a double elimination tournament with 4 teams, the 4 teams being Hun, Lawrenceville, Peddie, and Blair. Sometimes St. Benedict's enters it, sometimes they don't, because technically they are Prep A members. And these 2 teams between Blair and Peddie have had some serious battles in the past down the stretch at the end of the season.
Yeah, these are teams that have played each other, so many times over the years. I mean, these kids, they all know each other. They've seen each other up there to bat. They know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So when you come out and see these 2 teams play, you know that you're going to see a battle, and you're going to see players that are prepared to play the game.
On the mound for Peddie, we have Alex Hermanson, number 21. Hermanson, big righty with a big arm. Oh, we got number 22 on, sorry. Okay, might have read that incorrectly. So Sean Lubreski will step to the plate for Blair. Lubreski batting .350 on the year. The big number that stands out on this sheet, 21 stolen bases. One of the things that this Blair Academy team has done so well for so many years, is their ability to run on catchers, their ability to run all over, take extra bases, especially when they get runners to second base, Sean. This stat isn't kept, but I would guess that they score probably 85% of the time when they have a runner on second base, as this one is in for a strike, so the count goes to 1-1 on Lubreski.
Tom, check out Lubreski's stance up at the plate. He's got his legs spread really wide. That's a unique stance.
It's a unique stance, but that's how he keeps his balance. So he's able to get the balls a little bit quicker there. Count goes to 2-1.
There's different philosophies as to, do you spread the legs before and not step? Guys like Albert Pujols have a similar stance to that, and you won't see them step as much.
Right.
Whereas other guys, you'll see a big leg kick or a smaller kick. I've always kind of liked the idea of not too much of a step, minimal motions, because the less you're doing, the less you can mess up.
I'm with you on that one, for sure. The 2-2 to Hermanson. Breaking ball low is a good pitch. Lubreski able to hold up, so the count goes to 3-2. And a great block behind the plate by Manny Peter. Manny Peter, I believe this is his 3rd year starting for Peddie. Their 2nd or 3rd year starting for Peddie. Has really improved defensively year in, year out. Has a great arm. Taking over for Chris Leach, as this one is called strike 3. A good pitch from Hermanson gets the first out of the inning. And, of course, Coach Stone, the head coach for Blair Academy, has been here for 14 years, his 14th season as a head coach. Played outfield for UNC Chapel Hill. You can see the sleeves there. Blair has recently instituted the baby blue look to their uniforms, and it is a great look, but I think the baseball team is the only one that has that privilege implemented, as this one fouled back by Eddie Lair, and that will bring the count to 1-1. Coach Stone, also the football coach here, the athletic director, used to be the hockey coach. And we saw in the Winter Olympics, Sean, the women's USA hockey team, as this one is grounded hard down the third baseline. It's a fair ball. Eddie Lair rounding first. He's heading towards second. And Eddie Lair on base with a double, a beautiful hit down the third baseline. As I was saying, Coach Stone's sister was actually the head coach of the USA women's hockey team that made it to the finals, made it to the gold medal game against Canada. His brother is the head coach up at the University of Massachusetts. His father was the athletic director at Taft. So a pretty decent pedigree here for the Stone family.
That's not too bad. That's some athleticism.
So we have Sabino at the plate with a runner in scoring position. And pay attention to Eddie Blair on second base. This Blair team is relentless when they get players on second. It's one of the things they take a lot of pride in, being able to read dirt balls and get good leads. They get almost all the way to third base on their secondary leads. And I think that one was high as well. So we have a 2-0 count to Sabino, the 3-hitter, batting .442 on the year. I think in our graphic we had him batting .400. We skimped him out of 42 points. We don't want to do that, because if he sees that, he's going to be upset. So we'll give a quick apology there. 10 stolen bases on the year. He has 9 extra base hits, and the count goes to 3-0 now. So we'll see if Coach Stone gives Sabino the green light here.
My opinion in this situation is if this guy's, if he's your 3-hole hitter, he's your best hitter, you got a man in scoring position, give him the green light. Let him drive a guy in.
And that one will be high, ball 4. That'll bring up Chris Mezzanotte, the second baseman. You want to talk about the state championship games last year. Mezzanotte, along with so many other Blair players that contributed to that victory last year, Mezzanotte was on fire, hitting the ball to all fields, right center, left center. He was like a double machine. He was just an absolute pest at the plate. And that one is in for a strike on the outside corner. Hermanson gets a sign, takes a look at Blair. And this one fisted down the left field line. It will be a foul ball. Mezzanotte with great opposite field power.
Something that you don't see a lot of guys able to do consistently at the high school level is go to that opposite field. So that's a very valuable skill to have, especially in the middle of your lineup.
And this one sails into center field. Blair will stay put. And it is, one of the fascinating things about this whole man on second base phenomenon that Blair is just so good at is they get so far off the base, but they rarely get picked off. Coach Stone does such a great job of keeping his runners aware of where the fielders are at all times. The runners actually staying aware of where they are. Constant movement. Breaking ball will come in high for a ball, so the count will go to 2-1. And of course, Sean, when you have, the count is 1-2. When you have a pitcher that's worried so much about the runners on base, what's that do to the hitter? It makes his job a little bit easier.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. It makes it really tough for a pitcher when you're only focusing on those guys on base.
A swing and a miss from Mezzanotte will collect the second out of the inning from Hermanson, both outs by way of the strikeout, and that'll bring up Brett Lubreski. Brett Lubreski has been absolutely on fire this year. A .525 average. He's got 5 walks as well. Got a couple sacrifice flies mixed in there. A couple sac bunts, 8 doubles, and a triple. And this one off the hands towards shortstop. Tough play for Who up with it, and a great play by Johnny Who at shortstop. Gets the speedy Lubreski at first base. So 2 men left on base. We had 1 hit and a walk, no errors. A couple of strikeouts from Hermanson, and we'll head into the top of the second inning with the score knotted at 0. Coming up for the Falcons, we have Alex Hermanson, the pitcher. Hermanson only a sophomore, batting in the cleanup spot. We have Peter Manny. I called him Manny Peter when he was in the field. That's my bad. And Mike Peters. A lot of Peters, a lot of Mikes. And that will be who will be up for Peddie as Kyle Jackson gets hit by a sniper and falls down for some reason. We have one ball on the batter.
It's very windy today, Tom.
It's very windy. Windy enough to knock down a catcher.
Gear can be heavy. Trying to give the kid the benefit of the doubt here. Come on now.
Yeah, this one high for a ball as well. Count now 2-0. And this one in for a strike, and that's a location that Christian Suck would like to stay with the entire game. Down at the knees. It's a great pitch. This one swung on and missed. 2 strikes on Hermanson. And this one just kept alive. Breaking ball from Sook. Haven't really seen Sook's changeup yet, which is one of his better pitches. I think that was it right there. That might have been a fastball, actually. So the count now goes to 3-2. Windy, overcast day here at Blair. This one smoked out to right center field. It'll go over the head of Barbarata. Actually, it was a little bit more straight away right field than I had thought. It went over his left shoulder. And a great hit from Hermanson to start the inning off. So Alex Hermanson getting on base in the top of the second here for the Falcons. And I don't know if the wind took that or if it was just misjudged off the bat, Sean. But it was a tough play for Barbarata to make. It was a well-hit ball. And Peddie will bring in a courtesy runner for the pitcher, Hermanson. And that will bring up Peter Manny.
Yeah, a lot of times those line drives to the outfield can be really tough ones to play because they very often have a lot of movement where it looks like it can be going one direction and then suddenly it's 5 or 6 feet in a completely different direction, which is, I think, what happened there.
This one called a strike. This hits the inside corner, a good spot from Sook. And the 0-1 is in for a strike. Breaking ball that hits the top part of the zone, so the count goes to 0-2.
That's a good pitch, but it's a dangerous one because that's one that if you get it in there and you can convince the batter not to swing, it's great. But if the batter swings at that, it can be dangerous.
And this one fouled back straight to the screen, so we will do it again. Peter Manny took over at catcher for the postgraduate. After the postgraduate, Chris Leach went on to play at Lehigh. He's now at Trinity College. Manny's done a fantastic job. His improvement has been twofold in the field and at the plate. Worked himself into the 5-hole for this Falcon team as he fouls this one off. Count remains 0-2. And this one is high for a ball.
That's a good waste pitch, though. I mean, you're ahead in the count. There's no reason to put one in the zone. You're trying to force your opponent to chase something there. So get that ball high up there, see if you can get him to chase a pitch that's 100% unhittable.
Especially when you're that far ahead. And this one is grounded in between third and short. Sabino able to come up with it, but has to throw it off his back foot, and this will travel to the dugout, and a run will score. So an unfortunate play there. It looked like Sabino lost his footing as he went into the outfield grass there, Sean. And a tough play. It was a tough play to make. It was a good job by Manny to get the ball in play and battle up there after starting out 0-2 on the count. And a tough play from Sabino leads to a run for Peddie.
And Sabino had the right idea there when he fielded that ball. If he could have gotten it to third, he would have been able to get it out. The throw just a little bit high. It's a tough play, one that he probably expects himself to make, but it was the right play to make as far as decision-making defensively.
So that will bring up Mike Peters, sophomore third baseman. Squared to bunt his first time, fouled it straight back. And this one will be low and inside, so the count will go to 1-1. Sook shoves this one in for a strike. Count now 1-2. So Sook, Sean, being able to get ahead of some of these batters here, he's always around the plate. That's never going to be an issue with him. And he's giving himself a great chance by getting ahead of so many of these hitters as this one fouled back.
Yeah, I mean, I've had conversations with pitchers before in my playing days, and we'd be talking about what's the best pitch in baseball. What is the absolute best pitch? And the conversation always, at least on my end, seemed to always end with a first pitch strike.
Right.
It doesn't matter whether it's a fastball, a curveball, a changeup, a screwball, a gyro ball. A first pitch strike. That's the best pitch in baseball, no matter what it is.
I tend to agree with that, because even when you watch a BP session, how many times does the ball get roped in BP, but it's fielded cleanly, and it's at people? A lot of times, right? So even if you put a ball on a tee, it's not guaranteed. And it is a called strike 3. A great job battling there by Sook to get the first out of the inning for Blair. Christian Bartholomew, the junior left fielder, will step to the plate now for the Falcons. Trying to plate Manny at second base, and this one blocked nicely by Jaksic.
Such an important skill for a catcher to be able to stop a ball behind the plate. We talked about the deep backstop a little bit earlier, and that's a base or two if you're not able to block that ball.
And that is one of Jaksic's strong suits. I think if you ask him, one of the things that he kind of takes a lot of pride in, he's got a great arm, he's got a plus arm behind the plate, but his ability to move behind the plate and block pitches, he's got broad shoulders, football player's body, typical catcher's body, and he moves really well behind the plate. Bartholomew squares to bunt. It's low, and it is not a foul ball. It appeared to be a foul ball. Jaksic not able to come up with it, so that allows Manny to head to third base. But it will be a strike. We will treat it as a swing and miss. So that'll be a pass ball by Jaksic. Sook now with a runner on third. Eddie Blair comes up to the grass at third base. This will be high for a ball.
How is your ball blocking skills behind the plate, Tom?
That's something that got better. That I definitely improved on. As thing that this one fouled back. The thing that really playing. You can simulate that as much as possible, but actually calling a pitch, anticipating the pitch, knowing your pitcher. Some people throw it at different angles or whatever it is. It's something that you learn the more that you play. And that's something that I definitely got better at as my career went on, and that's something that you take a lot of pride in, and it's something that gives pitchers confidence too. As this one ripped between the hole into right field, so Bartholomew with an RBI single with one out here in the top of the second.
I would say that blocking a baseball as a catcher was really my only discernible skill as an athlete. That was the only thing that I could do better than the average catcher.
Well, it's a cool thing to be good at because it's not hard. It's not easy. It's not easy, and it builds toughness, if you ask me.
It takes a lot of work.
And this one attempted bunt here from Joe Bolger, the sophomore second baseman, is fouled back. So Peddie attempting to play some small ball here against Blair. So far, Blair has kind of played into their hands as Peddie has not even had to put a bunt down cleanly. 0-1. Sook throws over to first, to no avail. Runner goes, and this will hit Bolger. It's like it got him on the hand, I think.
Wherever it hit him, it made quite the thud.
Yeah, it did not.
That hit hard.
Did not seem like it felt good, but you got to hand it to this Peddie team. They've been extremely aggressive on the base pass. We have one out here. You might look for another bunt as Matt Boyle, the sophomore right fielder, steps to the plate for the Falcons.
Right in the back, right in the numbers.
So it did hit him in the back. I saw him shake his hand there for a second. I thought maybe it had caught his hand.
Shoulder blade area, perhaps. Either way. Ouch.
Sook gives Bartholomew a look at second base and fires in the first pitch strike. So Boyle not bunting on that one. Blair playing about even at the bag, so if he were to square, he'd have to read the hands, and Sook would have to cover some ground himself. Second look back to Bartholomew. Now he comes to the plate. A nice bunt down the third base line, but Sook will touch it foul. So now the count 0-2. Sook been able to get ahead of most of the hitters here. And this is a situation where there have been a couple of hard hit balls, not too much action for the outfielders. And this is a situation where you need to keep your tempo up as a pitcher, which I think Sook's doing a good job of, just so that the people that haven't gotten the ball yet stay into the game. This one is swung on and missed, strike 3. So that'll be the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Baraka, the leadoff hitter for Peddie.
And that's a big out. I mean, you've got a couple guys on base. You've given up a couple runs. To be able to strike that guy out, it's good for your confidence. It gives your fielders a little more confidence knowing you're playing with 2 outs, and you can really bear down and focus in on the next guy.
Baraka popped out to the catcher, Jaksic, his first time up. Jaksic does a great job smothering this one. I believe that is a strike on the swing. So a good pitch from Sook to start off Baraka. Good idea to change it up. And another breaking ball in for a strike. So decides to back up 2 breaking balls there, Sean.
That'll keep a guy off balance. You start a guy off with back-to-back curveballs first time through the lineup. Certainly not what a hitter's expecting.
And a futile swing from Baraka, and that'll be strike 3 for Sook. But not before Peddie is able to plate a run on an awkward play in between short and third base. A base hit to right field that plated Peter Manny. And a good inning for Peddie as they are here to play aggressively on the base paths. And a good showing from the Falcons so far. And that will bring up Neil Ring, Christian Sook, and Kyle Jaksic, Barbarata in the 9-hole to complete the lineup here for Blair Academy. And Blair had some runners on base on first and second last inning, unable to get them around. Hermanson on the mound for Peddie, got the rally started for the Falcons in the top of the second there as they were able to plate a run. But Blair, Sean, they want to get something going. They got to find some gaps as Peddie did in that top of the second inning.
Yeah, it's just about putting the ball in play. Get guys on base, work the count, and then just hit the ball and hope there aren't fielders where you hit it to. I mean, when you're these level of hitters, these guys are some good ball players, so you can probably, a little more than I could in my days, you can probably have a better feel for where you're hitting the ball as opposed to just swinging wildly at it and hoping there's no one there to catch it, which is always my strategy. I think that they could definitely put up some runs. You get runners on base in the first inning, even if you don't get them home. That's a good sign for the rest of the game.
That is a good sign. And this is a Blair team that's extremely resilient. They've had late inning wins this season. They've been able to come back. This is a lineup that's never out of it, no matter what. So look for the Bucs to get back on track starting immediately here with Neil Ring. Ring, also a football player, came in from the Gunnery School in Connecticut. This one is taken high for a ball. Ring, a very versatile player, can play pretty much any position on the diamond, Sean. Can get some innings behind the plate. He's a good catcher, can pitch too. been outstanding so far this year for Blair. Has been a great addition to an already loaded team. This one in for a strike.
And having players that have that versatility is so important because sometimes, you get partway through the season, guys get worn down, need a day off here and there, and when you can just, toss a guy in at just about any position on the field, that gets you your guys who normally play that position that extra day off that they need, and it can be a huge benefit to your team.
And Ring's versatility is especially essential on this Blair team because all of Blair's pitchers are position players. As this one grounded down the third baseline, it is a fair ball. So in the exact same spot where Eddie Blair hit his double, Neil Ring will follow up with a double in the same spot.
And he steps on in nice and easy. That's a pretty easy double. You get that down the line past the third baseman. It's hard for a left fielder to get all the way in and have a chance at getting anyone at second base.
So a runner on second to start the inning here. We'll see if Sook will bunt him over or if Coach Stone will let Sook swing away. Sook batting .230 on the year. Does have 9 runs batted in. Sook, also a first baseman. This one grounded to short. Hu up with it, over to first for the first out of the inning. Johnny Hu looking extremely smooth at shortstop for this Falcon team, Sean.
Yeah, it was something. I was watching him warm up, and I could tell right off the bat, this is a kid who is born to be a shortstop. He just looks smooth out there. There's not an awkward movement to him. Everything he does, it's the quickest route to the ball. It's a smooth fielding of the ball and then a snap throw to first base. He's an outstanding athlete, you can tell, out there at shortstop.
So, nonetheless, Sook did his job. He got Ring over to third base as this one is smoked into right field. Kyle Jaksic, an RBI single down the right field line. A beautiful hit, a great inside-out swing, and Blair ties it up at 1. Jaksic also getting some innings at first base as Sook can play first. He plays a little third, too. Eddie Blair can play some second when Mezzanotte pitches. They can really shuffle this whole team around with the amount of versatile defensive players that they have. Kevin Holliday, I believe, that is on first base running for Kyle Jaksic. Also a football player, also some great speed, also a key contributor in that state championship run last year. First pitch is up high for a ball. Jordan Barbarata at the plate for Blair. Gets a sign from Coach Stone. Holliday with a short lead over at first. Hermanson fires, and it looked like this might have caught Barbarata, but it didn't. It was just high for a ball. Coach Stone imploring Holliday to get a bigger lead over there at first base. I don't think we've seen a move yet from Hermanson. There it is.
There it is.
Had him leaning a little bit. Holliday able to get back in time. You get as far away as you can, which will still enable you to get back to the base with a step and a dive. A big leg kick from Hermanson. This one is low for a ball. So the count goes to 3-0 on Barbarata. And you don't want to put another runner on base here with the top of the lineup coming up. See if Hermanson can battle back here. He'll throw over to first.
And, Tom, there's different kinds of leads over there at first base. There's, you can get a big lead, but there's a difference between a big lead where you can still comfortably lean a little bit towards second base and a big lead where pretty much no matter what, you're just getting ready to dive back to first.
Exactly. A one-way lead, a two-way lead. That's a 4-pitch walk, and that'll bring Sean Lubreski up to the plate, who struck out in his first plate appearance. Lubreski last year, obviously an outstanding season. He was a first-team All-MAPL selection, All-Prep. And a couple of papers. He was the official All-Prep A, also Star-Ledger. Recognized him as a first-team All-Stater, as this one fouled off to the right. Lubreski, obviously an outstanding base runner, but you see him on the mound. He is fantastic. Holiday off towards third. Looked like it was a hit and run attempt, and he is in with no contest, really. So Lubreski probably could have even held up on that swing. So we have runners at first and third with an 0-2 count to the leadoff hitter.
Possible we had a bit of a missed sign over there at first base as only one runner took off.
So with a runner on third, Lubreski's approach changes a little bit here with one out in the bottom of the second inning. Game tied at 1. And this one lined into left, and it will find a gap. Barbarata into third base safely, and that'll be a double for Sean Lubreski. Nice, easy, short swing from Lubreski. Wasn't sure if Bartholomew was going to attempt to catch that on the fly, Sean, but it fell into a gap. Far enough into a gap for Lubreski to get to second base.
Yeah, that was a really nice hit. That's one of those frozen rope line drives where it just kind of keeps going and it carries a little bit further away from the fielder than you initially think it's going to.
And this one lined to second base from Blair, gets under the glove of Bolger. Barbarata will score. Lubreski will advance to third base, and Peddie now takes a 3-1 lead. Blair takes a 3-1 lead. A 3-2 lead, excuse me. And we're going to call that an error on Bolger. It's a tough play to make. It was kind of one of those in-between hops. Just went under his glove. So first and third once again. One out here in the bottom of the first inning. Sabino at the plate takes a breaking ball in for a strike.
Both pitchers have come with a lot of first pitch breaking balls.
Working backwards here. Maybe the wind might have something to do with it. It's a blistering wind here.
And I think that's probably also a product of what we talked about earlier, is that these teams have seen each other a lot of times. This isn't like your typical seeing a guy for the first time and you don't want to give away your breaking pitches early in the count. These guys have seen your breaking pitches. They've seen your fastball. They're ready for all of it, so you have to mix it up to keep them off balance.
A delayed steal from Blair, and he is in safely. Lubreski will stay put at third base. But that's a product of the second baseman and shortstop for Peddie not getting back to second base after every single pitch, and a good job by Eddie Blair taking 2 shuffles and stealing second there. And if he could have, he probably would have stayed in a rundown for Lubreski to be able to score from third. And that will be a strikeout to Sabino as he swings through a fastball from Hermanson. That'll be the second out of the inning. That will bring up Chris Mezzanotte, the second baseman, senior. This one in for a strike to Mezzanotte, who struck out his first time at the plate. Hermanson deals. This one grounded to Who at shortstop. Bobbles it. And on his attempt, he still had a play to make there, Sean, but on his attempt to pick it up, picked his head up a little bit too quickly and unable to come up with it. So a run will score. And Mezzanotte will reach base safely.
Right after we gave him all that praise for his shortstop play.
I think this was a case of him just picking his head up a little bit too soon before he had the ball fielded cleanly.
And that's what happens when you have a guy on third base. He's thinking that he has to look that guy back before he makes a throw to first. But then he ends up looking the guy back before he's got the ball in his glove.
So Blair now leads 4-2. We have a pitching conference on the mound. Coach Treese coming out to talk to Hermanson. Hermanson covering his mouth so that the lip readers in the audience unable to
He knows this
catch
game's
their
being
strategy.
webcast.
He does. Very smart. Very smart. I don't think Hermanson has not been hit very hard. I still think he's making some great pitches here. That could have been a big out to have there. Unfortunate so far, but Herman's been pretty impressed with what Hermanson has had to offer on the mound here today so far. Brett Lubreski at the plate. Just took a ball high. The count goes to 1-0. And this one in for a strike. Blair hitters do a great job tracking the ball into the catcher's mitt. So that allows for a better knowledge of the strike zone.
Something that not enough guys do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason not to constantly have your eye follow that ball all the way into the catcher's mitt on every single pitch.
So we have another first and third opportunity here for Blair. Mezzanotte stays put. This one will be high for a ball. Count goes to 2-1.
One thing that does, other than just give you a feel for the strike zone, is it helps you keep your head down. A lot of guys at the high school level have an issue where they're pulling their head out on their swing as they try to drive the ball a little bit further. And when you are used to snapping your head back towards the catcher as opposed to out towards the pitcher, that makes it more natural for you to keep your head on the ball as you swing at it.
The count goes to 2-2 to Lubreski, and it's funny you say that, Sean, because guys that we've seen that out of, the lefties here on this Blair team, the three lefties have 3 out of the 4 most walks on this team, as this one is up high for a ball. So it'll be 3-2, 2 outs. Mezzanotte will make sure Hermanson goes to the plate before he takes off towards second base. And this one will be high for a ball. So a walk able to be worked out by Lubreski will bring up Neil Ring. Ring 1 for 1 on the day. The double down the third base line. Now an opportunity to bust things open here early in the game. This one is popped up, playable. All right, I'm sorry, that's out of play. Not much foul territory here, the friendly confines of Wakefield Diamond, Sean.
It's all about getting the fans closer to the action, Tom.
It is.
For that quality fan experience.
More intimate fan experience. That is true.
More room behind home plate than down the first and third baselines.
And we were able to walk on the precious infield before the game started. This one will be low for a ball. Ring wanted to swing at it, but he held up.
It was quite nice.
Yeah, that infield is just immaculate. It's beautiful. It plays like AstroTurf. You get beautiful hops on it. There's no lips. Coach Stone humbly calls it the best field in New Jersey. As this one is low for a ball.
He very well may be right.
Could be. Count goes to 2-1 on Ring. So whereas Sook has been able to get ahead of hitters for Blair, Blair hitters have been able to work counts in their favor. And this one low for a ball. Count goes to 3-1. Hermanson at 47 pitches already here in the second. And this one will be low for a ball once again. So that will plate Eddie Lair. And that will bring Christian Sook up to the plate with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. 5-2 the score here. I don't see Peddie warming anybody up in the bullpen. Could have missed it, though. Sook 0 for 1 on the day. This one is low for a ball.
And it's having a bit of a hard time right now, fighting that wind, fighting having guys on base, getting behind after you took a lead.
And this one out to center field. Ferraro giving chase, and this one will be caught by Boyle as he calls off Ferraro at the last second for the 3rd out of the inning. Blair able to put some more runs back on the board. They take the lead now 5-2, entering the top of the 3rd inning. We'll be back after this. Johnny Hu will lead things off here for Peddie in the top of the third inning. Hu 0 for 1 on the day. He's made some nice plays at shortstop. Sook now with a 3-run lead as Blair entered the bottom of the second with a 2-0 deficit. Able to get 5 runs on the board in the second. And this one grounded to Sabino at short. Quick throw over to first. And that'll be the first out of the inning.
Sabino with a very quick release. He's got the ball in his glove, and then it's out. There's no extra motion to his throw. It's just the ball's in his glove, and then it's on the way to first base.
Yeah, about 2 steps to the ball, 2 steps towards first base, and that's it. Especially with the quick Hu at the plate for Peddie. That'll bring up Michael Ferraro, center fielder for the Falcons. And this one will be high for a ball. This one in for a strike. Sook at 44 pitches now in the top of the third. I think that's a little bit more than Coach Stone probably wanted. He's at 66% strikes. The 1-2-2 Ferraro. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Good pitch, climbing the ladder there by Christian Sook. So we have 2 quick outs here in the top of the third inning. Looks like Sook has found a bit of a rhythm, Sean.
Well, there's the remedy when your pitch count's getting up there. Get a couple of quick outs, strike a guy out on 4 pitches, and that'll keep you in the game a little bit longer if you threw too many pitches in the first couple innings.
Hermanson doubled his first time up over the head of Jordan Barbarata. He takes the first pitch up high for a ball. The one thing that you want to be cautious of is Sook. Most of his misses have been up high, and that's where you don't want to miss. You leave the ball up, tends to get smacked around a little bit. This one is in for a strike.
That's a pitch that I like to see guys throw. You can get that strike on the inside half of the plate where you're backing the hitter off the plate, but it's still in there for a strike. That's a nice pitch to be able to throw. Pat Burrell used to have a hard time with that pitch. We called it the Burrell curl when he backed away from it.
This one swung on and missed. A good pitch by Sook. Brings the count now to 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. His 5th strikeout of the game, and a 1-2-3 inning for Christian Sook. And that'll bring up the Blair Buccaneers here in the bottom of the third inning. And Blair looks to build on their 5-2 lead. And we're going to be back right after this. Welcome back to Wakefield Diamond as the Blair Buccaneers lead the Peddie Falcons by a score of 5-2 alongside Derek Raymond and Sean Lerman. I am Tom Monfiletto. This is the Strive Network's coverage of Blair baseball. It's our first baseball game here. We'll be back on Sunday to stream the Blair-Salisbury matchup. That's a team, Sean, that has 8 Division I commits, 2 of them to Clemson, 1 to Vanderbilt, a couple pro prospects in there, an outstanding team, and it'll be a great test for Blair. Blair played them down in Florida, both Lubreski's pitch, and they came out with a 1-0 victory. This one fisted to second base, Bolger unable to come up with it, and Jaksic hustles in safely at first. So we will bring Coach Stone will bring a courtesy runner in for Jaksic.
And I think Bolger could have still made that play at first, but after he booted the ball around a little bit, he kind of stood there for a second before he picked it up, probably figuring once he made the error he wouldn't have a play. But if he had just picked it up and thrown, he would have, gotten Jaksic at first base.
So we've seen 2 mistakes from Peddie after initial mistakes with opportunities to kind of make up for it. As Holiday is off towards second base, the throw from Manny is high, and Holiday is in safely. That is his second stolen base on the day, and the pitch was a ball.
I'd kind of like to see the shortstop there come over and pretend that ball went into center field a little bit. I do like that move where when it sails over the second baseman, the shortstop who catches it should absolutely take 3 hard steps out to straight center.
And this bunt is laid down beautifully by Barbarata, and Peter will get it over, or Manny will get it over to first base as Holiday is in safely at third. So Blair will have a runner on third with the top of their lineup at the plate, and 1 out in the inning.
How do you feel about the posturing, the pretend sprint towards center after the ball?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that.
You're not?
No, when it works, it looks kind of cool. When it doesn't, you look like the biggest doofus on the planet.
You do look a bit like a doofus. But the one time out of 30 that it works, you look like a genius.
That one is in for a strike. Oh, I fouled it. Sorry. I was contemplating your hypothetical situation there. I have a couple of times, like in the summer catching, I've went down to block a ball, realized it was in my glove, and still acted as if it got past me.
Good work.
And it worked that one time. It's the only time I've ever done it, though.
I used to like to, when I was catching, if it was an outside pitch, once in a while, slide over and kind of smack my glove right next to the batter on the inside half of the plate before sliding out. So they get that feeling like the catcher's close to them on the inner half. Then you get that change up on the outside. They're not ready for it.
That's a terrific strategy.
Thank you. Infield up here, tight.
And a squeeze is on. Holiday in safely, and that's how you do it. Perfectly executed safety squeeze there by Blair Academy. We're going to take another look at it. Lubreski put it in a perfect spot, fielded by Hermanson, but a high throw. Not sure even if it was on the money. I'm not sure if it would have gotten Holiday.
Would have been pretty close, but I don't think they would have gotten him.
Here is the bunt. Actually, it wasn't perfect. It was a little bit high, but the angling of it was great. And here comes Holiday, who comes in safely. A good slide by Holiday, and Holiday is just an absolute terror on the base pass for opposing teams. That'll bring up Eddie Lair as this one bounces in the dirt, which allows Lubreski to get into second unattested.
What a block, though. I mean, that one bounced early. That was one where the catcher can't just drop down to block it. That's one where you physically have to stand up to block the ball. That is a very difficult play to make because it requires an instant read of exactly where the pitch is going.
Blair 1 for 2. He's reached base both times. Started things off as Lubreski goes towards third, and he is in safely standing up. And Sean Lubreski, I would venture a guess that 99% of the time he's on second base, he steals third.
Some guys have that knack for stealing third base. Other guys, it's the hardest thing in the world to do. But some guys just have that knack for when the pitcher's not going to look back another time, and they just know exactly when to take off.
This one is smoked into right center field over the head of Boyle, and Eddie Blair is gunning for a triple. Rounding second base, who unable to come up with it, and sliding in safely head first, Eddie Blair for his second extra base hit of the game. A beautiful inside-out swing, taking it to right field over the head of Boyle. Blair hustles in safely.
He got the pitch he was looking for, 2-0, stayed in on the ball, kept his hands in tight, and then just drove it to the opposite field.
That is his third triple on the year. Blair not exactly known for his blazing speed, but he is known for his bat.
You hit it far enough, it's easy to get to third.
There you go. Sabino at the plate for Blair. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. This one in for a strike. Score now 7-2. And the 0-1 is fouled back. Sabino, 4 dingers on the year. Going to add to that total.
That's a lot. For 14 games, 4 home runs, that's a lot.
I think he hit one in his first at-bat against Peddie at Peddie earlier in the year. It's a game that Peddie won 9-5.
That's the equivalent of a 47, 48 home run season in a 162-game year.
That's great math out of you. And this one fouled off. So Sabino with an 0-2 count has fouled 3 straight pitches off. Will not go down easily. That's certainly something that Blair has kind of been known for past couple years, to be able to fight with 2 strikes. As this one is popped straight up, and it is caught by Peters over at third base, and that'll be the second out of the inning.
Peters had a hard time kind of finding that one in the wind. It was probably knuckling, moving around quite a bit as it got up there. Plus that ball, when it's hit that high up, has a natural spin to it to where it lands a couple feet further back than where it initially looks like it's going to. So a good job by him to stay with it and make the play.
That's a tough play, especially with this wind here, as you could hear throughout the broadcast. This one is outside for a ball. Count 1-0 to Mezzanotte. Mezzanotte, a taller than normal second baseman here for Blair. Pretty much play all over the infield. This is coming right to us. And Sean Lerman drops it.
I dropped it. It happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, it came right to our color commentator, Sean Lerman, right in his hands, and he dropped it. I should have stepped in front of him and caught it myself.
I was really mostly concerned about the equipment and not reaching over to break one of your beautiful computers here, Tom.
That is pitiful. Unbelievable.
It happens.
This one is in for a ball.
They say I'm too old to bring my glove to a baseball game now. But
did that hurt?
Apparently I could have used it. Nah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Only my pride.
And here it comes again. Round 2. Derek, this is all you. And he doesn't even attempt.
Doesn't even try.
He doesn't
At least
even
I put the
attempt,
effort in.
And he puts his hands up as if to say, I don't even have a glove.
At least I put the effort in. Give me a little credit. I look much better now.
Okay, count is 2-2 in the baseball game.
It's your turn, Tom. This next one's got to be all you.
Well,
Derek
if it comes
just
my
threw
way.
his headset down in anger at that ball.
This one up high. Good eye there by Mezzanotte, not chasing.
I've got a golf game to worry about, guys.
Okay.
I need my hands.
Just put both hands up in the air. And this one, a beautiful swing to center field. Ferraro under it and will make the final out of the inning. A nice swing by Mezzanotte, but Ferraro will collect it for out number 3. Blair puts a couple more on the board. They now lead 7-2 as we enter the top of the 4th inning. Peter Manny at the dish for the Falcons. Manny reached on I don't know, it was a fielder's choice. Wasn't exactly a clean hit, but it did get through the hole. It was between third and short. This is where Sabino fielded it to his right as the first pitch is in for a strike. Fielded to his right and tried to get the lead runner at third. Sailed it over Blair's head. It allowed him to score, and that's how Manny got on base to start, back in the 2nd inning. Count now 1-1. Manny did score a run in that inning. As this one in for a strike. It's like Sook pitching with a lot more confidence now on the mound. Ball coming in a little bit quicker, a little harder. Good block by Jaksic. Manny able to check his swing there, so the count will go to 2-2.
And that's an important one to block as the catcher, too, because if that's swung at, if he went, you have to tag him and get the out. If you let that ball get by you, that's a man on first base.
And this one high for a ball. A little extra mustard on that one, if you will.
I will. I was thrown hard.
Later on, we're going to bring you some baseball terms that we've had enough of, as this one is flown out to center. Sean Lubreski is under it, and he will catch it at his side for the first out of the inning.
Baseball terms that I've had enough of?
Yeah.
I'm sure I can come up with a couple.
I don't like the not his best when you're talking about a pitcher thrown over to first.
Okay.
Right? Like he'll step off and just kind of goose one over to first just to...
Right, you don't want to show him the good move.
I guess, yeah. And, just one of the more obvious...
I don't like that strategy in general.
No.
I mean, if you're going to throw over, get the guy out. Just get the guy out. Why do you want to show him anything?
I don't know. I think there's just... I don't know if it's a decoy, but it's just a, hey, I know you're there, and then it's a, hey, I'm going to try to get you out.
Yeah, I'd rather just, hey, you're out.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Here we go. Mike Peters at the dish for Peddie. This one low, blocked nicely by Jackson.
Right, Tom?
Yeah. Why not? Why not? A concert tonight at Blair Academy that the entire school will be attending. This one in for a strike.
Fun little bonding thing for the school. I'm on board with that.
Couple athletes that we've covered here on the Strive Network will be participating in the chorus, the choral concert. This one is fouled off. One of them, Demetrius Daltiris, the linebacker, safety, wide receiver for the football team, headed to Cornell, also on the basketball team. Also has some pipes.
Cornell, very nice school.
Very nice.
My older sister, a Cornell graduate.
Is that true?
That is true. She graduated from Physician's Assistant School at Cornell.
I did know that. Is she Is she doing some? Did she do rotations there, or is that something that?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I could not know less about what her college experience was like.
Oh, okay. That's nice of you, as a caring brother. 2-2 is the count. This one fouled back by Peters. Peters 0 for 1 on the day. He struck out looking in his first plate appearance. Battling now. Sook at 63 pitches now in the top of the fourth. This one fouled back once again. And the 2-2 is in for a strike. Strike 3. Christian Sook. 6th strikeout of the game. This one looking after a long battle with Mike Peters. And that will be the 2nd out of the inning. Christian Bartholomew steps to the plate now for the Falcons. Junior left fielder. Bartholomew 1 for 1 on the day. And here's another rip into right center field. And Lubreski will field it and get it in to prevent Bartholomew from an extra base hit. But a nice swing from Bartholomew once again. That'll bring up Joe Bolger, the second baseman. Bolger hit by a pitch in his first time at the plate. Sook with a throw over to first, just for good measure.
Not his best.
I was waiting for that. How do you feel about the whole stay hot thing, as this one is swung on and missed?
I'm okay with it. I'm all right with that. It depends on the guy you're saying it to.
Okay.
You don't want to say that to a streaky hitter and get in his head like, oh, I have to stay hot. But a guy who's a consistent hitter, you can say that to, because that's not going to matter.
See, I never enjoyed it because I think it's implying the only reason why you're doing well is because you're on a hot streak.
That was usually the only reason I was doing well.
Wind really picking up here, as you can probably hear it through the broadcast. Starting to die down a little bit. Suck checks the runner and swung on and missed. The 7th strikeout of the game for Christian Sook, and he is completely in command now for the Buccaneers. And that'll bring the Bucs up in the bottom of the 4th inning. They still lead by a score of 7-2. Brett Lubreski will get things going here to start off the bottom of the 4th inning. The Blair Buccaneers lead by a score of 7-2 over their rival, Peddie Falcons. A mixture of hits couple of errors and some good aggressive base running has led to this 5-run lead for the Bucs. And the first pitch to Lubreski is taken for a strike. Lubreski was an All-MAPL nominee last year, only a sophomore. When his brother Sean goes into pitch, he takes over center field duties, and he had a slew of what we would call web gems on the year. Has excellent instincts. Obviously an incredible athlete. Backup point guard on the basketball team. This one fouled down the first baseline. Count goes to 1-2. Brett also logged some innings on the mound this year. He will be throwing against the Salisbury School on Sunday, which we will be broadcasting live from Wakefield Diamond. He's got 12 strikeouts on the year. And this one ripped in between the first base and second base hole. Down the right field line it goes, and Lubreski will slide in safely for a double. So that is 3 balls that we've seen hit down the lines here for this Blair team, able to keep it fair and get good swings on it. So Brett Lubreski will start it off here in the bottom of the 4th with a leadoff double.
That was a nice play by Boyle out in right field. He got on that ball really quickly and got it in. I mean, it ended up not making a difference in the play, but the hustle that he had, and he got to it quickly, got it in quickly, in the long run, those are eventually going to make a difference at least once or twice over the course of a season.
And Hermanson will step off to get Lubreski back to second base. We'll see if he decides to take third as his big bro did earlier in the game. This one fouled back by Ring. Ring 1 for 1 on the day. He had a double down the third baseline and then a walk in his second plate appearance. And this will be low for a ball, and it will squirt past Manny. And Lubreski will jaunt in safely to third base.
Jaunt. I like it. No, I'm on board with that.
Just a leisurely
A stroll.
stroll.
A saunter, perhaps.
Yeah, there you go. I've been using the word eschew a lot, Sean.
Oh, I love that word.
This one popped. Fair territory. Who under it will make the play for the first out of the inning?
That's good communication by the infield there. Who was there? He knew that it was his ball, called off the third baseman, Peters, and able to make the play.
Yeah, good job taking charge there. A lot of times you see shortstops that would rather somebody else catch the ball. Good shortstops want to catch every single thing that's in the air. And who, a great job taking charge there. Suck crushes this one out to center field. Ferraro makes an excellent play on it. Tagging and scoring is Brett Lubreski. But a beautiful play by Ferraro in center field, covering a ton of ground.
That was a really good defensive play by Ferraro out in center. That was an absolute shot.
Off the bat, I thought it was over his head. I thought it might have had a chance to go. And Ferraro just kind of put his head down and like a deer scurried under it.
Covered a ton of ground.
So that'll bring up Kyle Jaksic. Jaksic 1 for 2 on the day, reached on an error in his last plate appearance, an RBI single in the second. And this one swung on and missed. And this one will be high to Jaksic. And count will go to 2-1. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Jaksic with great opposite field power. Most of his hits go to the right of second base in the state championship tournament last year. Had a big double to right field. That got things going for Blair offensively. This one bounced before it reaches the plate, and the count will go to 3-2. Jaksic batting .357 on the year. Got 10 runs batted in. He will take this one low for a ball. Peter Manny getting some great work in behind the plate as Jordan Barbarata will step to the plate. Barbarata with, I believe, a sac bunt and a walk on the day, so yet to register an at-bat here. Kevin Holliday back in the game. He's got 2 stolen bases already. Holliday scored the last time he was on the base pass on a safety squeeze that was laid down nicely by Sean Lubreski. Holliday off towards second again. The throw from Manny, not in time. Ball goes out into center, who blocks it and is able to prevent Holliday from advancing to third. So the pitch was called a ball. It'll be 1-0. Good cut by Barbarata. Will foul this one back. Count goes to 1-1. Barbarata from Pittsfield, Massachusetts. He's a postgraduate here. As this one fouled back once again. Blair's postgraduate last year, Teddy Sillis, is at UNC Wilmington. I believe he's playing some first base for them and pitching, hitting the cover off the ball. Had 2 big home runs in that state championship season last year. It was fantastic for them on the mound. This one low for a ball, blocked nicely by Manny, and Holliday stays put at second base. Barbarata looking for his first hit of the game. As Hermanson creeps towards 90 pitches. This one grounded just past Hermanson. And Bolger will make the play at first to retire the side. So we enter the top half of the 5th inning. The score now 8-2 in favor of the Buccaneers. Matt Boyle, the right fielder, will step up to the plate for the Peddie Falcons. Christian Sook at 70 pitches so far on the game. He's found himself in a nice little groove here. he starts Boyle off with the ball. A 1-0 comes inside. Does not hit Boyle, but gets past Jaksic. Count 2-0. Sook only 3 hits given up, 7 strikeouts.
That's not a bad split there.
Not at all. This one low for a ball. So 3 straight balls to Boyle. We start the 5th inning here. This one in for a strike. The 3-1. Swung on and missed. No, it's a foul ball that goes off the knee of Jaksic.
Good work by the umpire. Catcher gets hit on the knee. Go out there, slowly dust the ball off for the pitcher, hand it to him. Very courteous.
Some of the unwritten rules in baseball.
Something that you should see the catchers do too. An umpire
Exactly.
takes one off. You're going to see a mound visit just about every time, as long as the catcher knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Dust off the plate a bit with your glove.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. 8th strikeout of the game for Christian Sook. He's got 34 on the year now.
What a way to battle back. Go down 3-0 and then 3 straight strikes.
Everything going Sook's way here as we approach the final innings of the contest. Brett Lubreski playing a shallow left field with Wilson Baraka at the plate. Baraka 0 for 2 so far. This one, a breaking ball, called for a strike. Sean Lubreski in straightaway center. Jordan Barbarata playing a deeper right field. This one swung on and missed, so Sook jumps ahead. 0-2 is the count. Breaking ball, swung on and missed, strike 3. 9th strikeout of the game for Christian Sook. That is Baraka's 2nd punch out of the game. And the 2nd out of the inning. We'll bring up John Hu, the promising shortstop here for the Peddie Falcons. Hu, only a junior. Started most of the games at third base for Peddie last year. This one in for a strike. Swung on and missed. That a pitch bounced before it reached Jaksic, so the count will go to 0-2 once again.
Unless you're Mark Kotze. Probably not one to swing at.
Breaking ball, fouled off. Nice battle by Hu.
Mark Kotze, of course, hit a home run on a ball that bounced
I didn't
back
know
when
that.
he played for the Oakland Athletics.
I didn't know it was a home run.
He hit a home run. Guerrero's hit a couple doubles off of him.
Yeah, well,
Ron
Guerrero would swing at one that would go over the backstop.
But Kotze hit a home run off of a ball that bounced to him.
It's been going pretty fast. The 0-2 popped foul and out of play. Normal depth from the infielders. Eddie Blair about 5 steps off of third base. Accounting for the quick Hu. He will backhand this one and throw it over to first in time for the 3rd out of the inning. A nice play by Eddie Blair to retire the side after Christian Sook struck out the first 2. So we will head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Blair leads by 6. Alex Hermanson will head to first base as Amir McNelly will head to the mound for Peddie. Take over the pitching duties. Sean Lubreski leading things off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Blair with 4 runs can seal the deal here in the bottom of the 5th. And this one is low for a ball. Lubreski 1 for 2 on the day with a double. As this one is low for a ball once again. Called strike on the outside corner. A nice breaking ball there from McNelly. Sean Lubreski is headed to NJIT in Newark, New Jersey next year. As this one is lined into right field for a base hit. Another nice hit there by Lubreski. And he will start the inning off with a line drive single into right field. And that'll bring up Eddie Blair, the third baseman, who tripled his last time up. Eddie Blair batting .400 coming into the game. That'll be up to a couple of points, as this one is blocked nicely by Manny.
Both catchers have worked really hard behind the plate today.
Blair, 12 runs batted in on the year, including his 2 extra base hits today. He has 8 of those on the year, and this one is lined into right field for another base hit. Lubreski will go station to station. There'll be runners on first and second here with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. Blair putting on an absolute display of opposite field hitting here, Sean. Seeing the ball deep into the zone, putting some great swings on it. Liam Sabino, one of the only Blair players to be left out of the hit parade so far. See if he hops on board this inning. I think Sabino might be trying to put one onto the 4th hole of the Blair golf course. Which would be a rather hefty shot.
I was going to say, I think that would be, that'd be pretty far.
That'd be a cool 600 feet, man.
Maybe Giancarlo Stanton.
He has been just completely out of his mind. I've never seen balls hit this hard.
He is a monster of a human being.
Lubreski bouncing around on second base looking for his patented steal of third.
The artist formerly known as Mike Stanton.
And there he goes. Throw down to third base, not in time.
Standing.
Lubreski steals it standing up.
Standing up.
And Blair will advance to second base as well. So a double steal puts 2 runners in scoring position for the Blair 3-hitter committed to Vanderbilt University. And Sabino will take this for a ball, so the count goes to 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch grounded to third base. They're going to come home with it, not in time. Lubreski will slide in safely. A good play by Peters, but the throw ultimately not in time as Lubreski was going on contact. Another outstanding base running play by the senior captain center fielder.
Yeah, that was great base running. I mean, it was a close play, so it was very close to being horrible base running, but Either way, it was aggressive base running, and that's going to score you a lot of runs over the course of a season.
So first and second now with one out. Oh, nobody out. I'm sorry. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth. That brings up Chris Mezzanotte, as McNelly will take a look at Eddie Blair at second base. Mezzanotte hit 2 foul balls here to the production table, which were, neither of them were caught. One to my left, one to my right. I'm ashamed of my colleagues as this one is in for a strike.
I did make an effort. Derek, however, did not.
That's true.
If he hits another one here, I'll get it.
A buddy of mine was at the game where Albert Pujols hit his 500th home run in Washington. As this one is lined down the left field line, in for a base hit. Eddie Blair will round third, and he will come home for the 10th run of the ball game for the Buccaneers. So a nice hit by Mezzanotte, doing his patented opposite field line drive hit over the third baseman's head.
I was ready for it if it came our way.
Okay. So that'll be an RBI single from Mezzanotte. But anyway, I had a friend that was there. Ball bounced right in front of him. You can see him on TV if you watch it closely. And the guy in front of him, this poor man, he said was in his 50s, had 2 young children at the game, dove for the ball.
Oh.
Went off his chest and into the hands of somebody that didn't even really go for it that hard.
Oh.
So that was unfortunate.
Crying shame. Have you ever caught a ball at a game, Tom?
I have not, no.
My dad, Papa Lerm, and I, we always go down to the ballpark early, spend some time out in left field for batting practice.
That's great. That's a great move.
We've caught quite a few.
It's cool to see what kind of, as this one is in for a strike, looked a little bit low, but a called strike umpire has been very consistent all game long.
Yes.
Some of the guys that in that final round, which is kind of like the for the fans round.
Yep.
I remember when Troy Glaus was on the Braves. I got there early enough to see it. And Troy Glaus and McCann just had a competition to see who could put it higher up in the stands, and they were just peppering that third row there.
I have never seen anyone take batting practice like Matt Stairs.
Yeah.
That man, even in the rounds where everyone else is going opposite field with line drives.
As this one grounded through the hole to right field, Sabino rounding third, heading home. He will be in safely, and advancing to third is Chris Mezzanotte. So another run on the board, an RBI single from Brett Lubreski.
Even in the rounds where everyone was hitting line drives just opposite field, working on stuff, hitting it up the middle, every single swing for Matt Stairs was how high into the top section of stands can I put this ball?
Yeah, that's fun. It's a fun game to play.
Yes.
If you have that kind of power. We have a pinch hitter at the plate here for Blair.
To be fair, I don't think a coach has ever gone up to Matt Stairs and said, hey, can you drive this one to the opposite field for us?
Yeah, exactly. Can you just get a runner over for us? At the plate for Blair, Jesse Hustleton, junior. Hustleton with 5 hits on the year and an RBI. It's actually 5 for 7. So doing a fantastic job in his limited opportunities. And a 2-0 is taken for a strike, so the count goes to 2-1. 11-2 the score now. The winning run is on third. McNelly comes set, and the 2-1 is fouled off of the foot of Hustleton. So it'll be 2-2.
Really not the winning run. The winning run kind of scored a while ago. It's the walk-off run.
It's actually in the rule book. It's called the semi walk-off.
Is it really?
No, but
you had me there 100%.
yeah, I kind of made that the semi save when the pitcher comes in to close out
To
a
close
10-run
it out.
game.
Okay.
And this is low for a ball.
Coach Tom Monfiletto just confusing me all over the place, as he is wont to do.
Peddie with Bolger, who Peters and Hermanson on the grass, trying to prevent this run from scoring to keep this game alive here, as this one fouled off once again. Still, I think the play of the game was Mike Ferraro's catch in center field. Covered a ton of ground, as this one is low for a ball, so Hustleton will notch a walk, and that'll bring Christian Sook to the plate. Sook's been outstanding on the mound all game long. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 9 strikeouts, and 1 hit by pitch.
I'd agree, Tom. That was definitely the play of the game. That was a shot. It looked like it was going to go for extra bases and turned into an out.
And the first pitch to Sook is lined into left field, and that'll do it. So Christian Sook with the semi-walk-off single here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Blair will take this victory by a score of 12-2. So pretty fitting for Sook to be able to get the winning hit here at Blair Academy. And Blair, with another Maple win, improves to 12-3 on the year. Pretty complete game. Sook came in, threw some strikes, had 9 strikeouts. They played well defensively. They got some opportune hits, and they've just really terrorized the base paths today.
Yeah, you know, the base paths are really where this game was won. I mean, you saw first to third on singles. You saw guys going for the extra bases when they got the ball into the outfield, trucking for triples, going for, you know, the hustle doubles, and stealing bases all over the place. Just a totally complete performance by this Blair ball club.
Sook's line, once again, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits given up, 2 runs given up, 1 of them earned, 9 strikeouts, 1 hit by pitch. It's a 1.4 ERA on the day, so he improves to 4-0 on the year. At the plate, Sean Lubreski was 2 for 3 with a double and a single. Eddie Lair was 3 for 4 with a double, a single, and a triple. If he had gotten up in his final plate appearance, in a 4th plate appearance, could have had an opportunity to go for the cycle there. In the 5th plate appearance. Mezzanotte 1 for 4 with an RBI single. Brett Lubreski 2 for 3 with a single and a double. Neil Ring 1 for 2 with a double. Christian Sook, you saw that, 1 for 3 with an RBI, the game-winning RBI, or the game-sealing RBI. And Kyle Jaksic added an RBI single of his own. Kevin Holliday with 3 stolen bases on the day. Sean Lubreski with 3 stolen bases of his own to add to his total to 24. So an outstanding all-around game here for Blair. We saw some great plays from Peddie's defense as well. Johnny Hu made a couple nice plays at shortstop. We talked about the play from Mike Ferraro. Alex Hermanson did a great job at the plate, as did Bartholomew. So some positives here and some great work behind the plate by Peter Manny. Did a fantastic job blocking balls and just really working hard behind the plate. So this is a Peddie team that can be very, very dangerous. Didn't go their way today. They had beaten Blair earlier in the season. I think Blair still had that loss kind of hanging over them throughout the year, but they improved to 12-3 on the year. They are on a roll at a perfect time, and they will be taking on the Salisbury School on Sunday. We will be back for that, so tune in. For Sean Lerman and Derek Raymond, I want to thank everybody here at Blair Academy. And the final score, the Blair Buccaneers 12, the Peddie Falcons 2. We will see you next time.